Now I'm going to start this video out with a little story, one that I have told before years ago at this point, and probably one many of you never heard or have forgotten about, so I'll tell it again real quick. I was at Star Wars Celebration back in 2019 in Chicago, and I was waiting in line at the Star Wars shop that they have where they sell all the merchandise, and it's like a 2-hour wait to get in there just to spend your money on their stuff. But anyway, I was waiting in line, and ahead of me, there were like 4 or 5 guys who were talking about The Last Jedi and how much they absolutely loved that movie. And if you know me at all, you know I'm not really a fan of that movie or much of a fan of the sequels overall. But anyway, these few guys, they were the biggest fans of the movie ever, especially The Last Jedi. This was, again, 2019, before The Rise of Skywalker ever came out, so this is what they were talking about. We had just seen the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker 2, so they were talking about how amazing Rey looked in it, and they were, again, pretty much the biggest fans of the sequels I have encountered in person, and they especially loved Rey. And so after listening to them talk for I don't even know how long, I started to inject myself into the conversation. Now, I don't think they had any idea who I was, not that I'm someone to be known, if you will, but I don't think they knew I was a YouTuber or anything like that. They had no clue who I was. They just thought I was a random dude in line, which is fine and fair. That's all good. Anyway, I just started to casually inject a few things here and there about the movie. Not bad things. I was kind of, at first, just agreeing with them or hearing them out and, saying, yeah, I can see why you enjoy that or I can see why you like that. And I would then point out, well, there are some people who don't like it. And, of course, initially they're like, well, those are just the haters and they don't even know what they're talking about. They just want to hate the movie because they hate women. And, they were those guys. They were the guys who just defended everything and had the worst impression of the other side that you can imagine. And so over the next, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever we had to wait yet, I started to just not necessarily change their mind or anything like that, but I was trying to point out things that this is the reason why certain people don't like it. I never even said I didn't like it for these reasons. I just said, I think this is why people are disappointed or what they didn't like, or, they really liked Luke and they'd been waiting all these years and suddenly he's this, kind of broken old man and maybe Rey is a little too powerful too quickly. And though I don't think in any way, shape, or form I changed their mind about The Last Jedi, and it was never my intent to necessarily change their mind. I'm happy they enjoyed the movie. I'm happy they enjoyed Rey the character. But I do think and hope I maybe changed their mind a little bit about the people who didn't like the movies. That we weren't just all haters who hated Rey because of this or that. That there were actual legitimate reasons why we were disappointed in that particular movie. And I bring this up because what I think is one of the worst things people do, and I think it's kind of a natural thing to just believe in your own beliefs, right? That's why they're beliefs. But one of the worst things we do is just don't listen to other people, what they have to say at all, and just make wild assumptions about them. I mean, I have been doing YouTube now for 9 years, almost 10 years at this point, and I have encountered a lot of people who do not like me, and I mean don't like me at all. I've had death threats and just pure hatred sent my way. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for, oh, poor Thor. That's not what I'm saying at all. 99% of my experiences have been positive, and the good of being able to do this, the privilege afforded by the people who watch my channel to be able to do this, everything good about it outweighs the bad 1,000-fold. Nevertheless, like I said, I've run into some people who have said some pretty nasty things to me, told me to go kill myself even, and that sort of thing. And usually I just delete their comments and move on with my day, but every so often I will engage with somebody who is being very angry towards me, whether that be in the comments, or maybe it's on Twitter, or X, or Reddit, or wherever it might be. I get articles written about me from time to time, or have been in articles, so I have a lot of experience with it, and usually the thing I will ask the person who is very mad at me about something I said in a video is, what exactly did I say that you were so angry about? What offended you to the point where you're viciously attacking me online? And one of the more popular responses, surprisingly and kind of sadly and scary, is I didn't watch the video. I just know this is what you said and what you think and what you believe. And I'll ask, well, how do you know that? You didn't even listen to anything I had to say. You're just making assumptions based on what? And of course they'll say something, well, I just know. I know. I've heard from other people. I know your reputation, that sort of thing. And I'm like, but you yourself never have heard me say these things. You're going to judge me. You're going to hate me because of something other people say about me. You hate me without ever having listened to a word I've said. And a few times during the course of the conversation, be that again on Twitter or in my own comments or wherever it might be, there are times when the person comes to the realization that, you know what, you don't seem like you're a terrible guy. You don't seem like the devil you are made out to be sometimes by others. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you should go watch the video you thought I was saying these terrible things in and come back to me and tell me what you think. And yes, it's pretty rare, I'll say that. But there are times I have convinced somebody to watch my video and they come back and say, geez, I was actually wrong about you. You didn't say anything all that bad. I mean, I disagree with you, but you weren't saying truly mean or hateful things. And I'm like, yeah, I generally don't. Now, I'm not saying I've never said things that are maybe a little edgy or a little far or whatever, but we all do that. We all say dumb things from time to time. I've said probably a million dumb things in videos that if I could go back today and not have said them, I probably would, because I'm like, oh yeah, that was just a stupid thing to say. But again, we all do dumb things in the moment. We all say dumb things. We are human beings. But anyway, to try to get to some sort of point here, finally, what I'm saying here is maybe sometimes you should try to listen to your enemy, because maybe they're not your enemy. Maybe they're just somebody who has a different opinion than you do, somebody who you just disagree with, sure, but they're not saying anything truly bad or evil or that deserves such hatred from you. Maybe it's okay that people don't think exactly as you do, who don't hold the same beliefs exactly as you do. I mean, I always talk about, on this channel, I always talk about what the dark side actually is, and that is selfishness. It's people who are so absorbed in what they want and what they believe that they have lost the ability to have compassion for pretty much anyone else anymore, anyone who does not exactly fall into line with what they think they should be. And I would say there's maybe nothing more selfish than somebody who doesn't allow another person to have their own beliefs. Now, I'm not saying there aren't beliefs out there that aren't bad. That's not what I'm saying. There are people who, sure, believe some truly horrible things and should be condemned for them. But I would say more often than not, or hopefully more often than not, people just have slight differences in opinions where if you'd really sit down and talk to each other, you'd realize we kind of believe the same things, just not exactly in the same way. And thus there's really no reason to hate that other person. There's no reason to expect them or want them to believe exactly as you do. Again, that is arguably the most selfish thing you can do, is to expect another person to live exactly how you think they should live or believe how they should believe or how you believe. To me, that is the manifestation of the dark side in the real world. Us believing that our way is the only way, that we are always 100% right, without ever, again, listening to what the other side might actually be saying. But anyway, I think that is going to be all I got for you this time. So it is now your turn to take to the comments below and tell me what you think about any or all of this. What do you think is the biggest problem we face nowadays? Is it the fact that we just don't listen to each other? Are we really that different from each other? Or are we more similar than we realize and don't want to realize it for whatever reason, because we just want our side to win and the other side to lose? I don't know, take the conversation wherever you want, but please be respectful down in the comments. Actually have conversations and discussions. Let's keep talking some Star Wars and just talking in general. And until next time, thank you for watching.